Okay, next video. Let's go back out. Hitting the wrong button. Okay, find all points. It's the same function again, still x cubed minus 6x plus 2. Same function. Find all points x, y where the tangents to the curve are parallel to 12x minus 2y equals 6. So we got to decide what this is asking us to do. Okay, tangents, calculus, slopes. This is calculus, and then it says tangents. That makes us think of slopes. Slopes come from, or we can get information of slopes from the derivative. So something of this is about slopes, derivatives, parallel. And so we need to recall what we know about parallel lines, not limes, lines. Parallel lines and slopes. Parallel lines have equal slopes. So this is the same thing as saying find all points x, y where the tangents to the curve are parallel to 2x minus 2y equals 6 is the same thing as saying, so problem is same as find the points x, y where the tangents have the same slope as 12x minus 2y equals 6. So now, okay, so we got a little bit more, same slope. Well, let's recall, if I rewrite that to negative 2y equals negative 12x plus 6, taking that 12x to the other side, and then saying y equals 6x minus 3, there's my slope. And so this is further the same as, so find the points x, y where the tangents have a slope of 6. And then finally, slope of a tangent, or where f prime of x equals 6. Now, quiz or test time. I'm not expecting you to write any of that down. That's all my thought process. The only thing I might be expecting to see is where you calculated what the slope of the given line was. The rest of that is just thought process. So let's recall that this was the problem we were working with, that we had that f of x was x cubed minus 6x plus 2. So f prime of x was 3x squared minus 6. So all we want to do is solve 3x squared minus 6 equals 6, which is 3x squared equals 12, which is x squared equals 4, which is x equals plus or minus 2. Do not forget when you take the square root of both sides to include that plus or minus. Forgetting that plus or minus, you're leaving off half the answers. And so there are the required x coordinates. So I got to find the y coordinates. And y coordinates always come from plugging into the original function. So if x is 2, y is going to be f of 2. Which should be 2 cubed minus 6 times 2 plus 8. I'm not going to do that in my head. 8 minus 12 plus 2, negative 2. So I have the point 2, negative 2. And then x equal negative 2, y equals f of negative 2. So negative 2 cubed minus 6 times negative 2 plus 2 for negative 8 plus 12 plus 2. And what that looks like, that's probably 6. And so the point negative 2, 6. And there's where the slope is 6. One last time working with this same problem, letter D. Very similar. Find the x-coordinates where the tangents of the curve are perpendicular. So the only difference here is perpendicular. And notice this time I've cut us a break. I also just said x-coordinates. On the previous problem, if you recall, previous problem is back over here. Where is it? Previous problem, I did say x, y. And so then I found both the x and y coordinates. On the problem we're about to do, once I get this all organized again, on the problem we're about to do, it just does say x-coordinates. So be sure you always point here, read the directions, give what they want you to give. But here, perpendicular, and so the previous problem I got to remind you about parallel lines, but here we can say perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals for slopes. So again, same line that we had before, but we'll write it out again. 12x minus 2y equals 6, which is negative 2y times equals negative 12x plus 6. For y equals 6x minus 3. And so the parallel slope, that was 6, but the perpendicular slope would be negative 1/6. And so what we want to solve here is f prime equals negative 1/6. Because it says x-coordinates where the tangents are perpendicular. Well, the perpendicular slope is negative 1/6, which means the tangent slope needs to be negative 1/6. Tangent slopes are given by the derivative. We've calculated that derivative a couple times. It was 3x squared minus 6 equals negative 1/6. Let's multiply everybody by 6. That'll be the easiest way to solve that. So we'll multiply everybody by 6, canceling the fraction on the right there. So I'm going to get 18 squared minus 36 equals negative 1. 18x squared equals 35. X squared equals 35/18. X equals plus or minus the square root of 35/18. I am cool with that answer. I'm fine with that answer. My math lab will probably simplify the 18, and if my math lab wants the 18 simplified, you should simplify it. Do not write me and tell me, oh, I didn't simplify it. If it's a matter of just simplifying a radical, simplify it. So we will go ahead and simplify that square root of 18. And we'll practice the algebra a little bit there. That 18 is 9 times 2. So a prettier answer would be 3/5, or I don't care how you write it. 9 over the square, or not 9, how about 3? 3 over the square root of 2. There's a prettier answer, which I don't care about at all. On a test or quiz, you have that, you can stop right there. But if my math lab goes to here, don't write me and say, oh, my math lab did that. That's not going to take so much extra work that you shouldn't be able to get that answer. Now, sometimes some teachers require you to rationalize denominators. I don't care about that at all, and my experience has been that my math lab isn't going to make you rationalize that square root of 2. It very well may make you simplify the square root of 18, and if it makes you simplify the square root of 18, simplify the square root of 18. I don't think it'll make you rationalize the square root of 2. If it does, you can write me and say it rationalized it and I didn't, because I don't care about rationalization at all. But if it does the 18, you go ahead and do the 18. But I am fine right there. And it didn't ask for the y coordinates, so I am not going to find the y coordinate because it didn't ask for it. Okay, we'll end that lecture here.